Welcome to Last Week on the Internet. Today's big story is about the Switch 2 being the biggest gaming release of all time. Asterisk, maybe. We're going to figure it out today, okay? Together. Now, before we talk about the launch day of the Switch, we got to talk about things leading up to it, okay? And the controversy that came with this announcement, okay? Because it wasn't all good at first, okay? It's still not all good now. So let's first talk about the Switch 2 Backlash, okay? That came with the announcement of the Switch 2. Because there's a couple things that people weren't all that happy about. People were mad about the price, obviously. If you don't know, the console itself, no games, costed $450, and the games, the first time in the whole industry of gaming, were $80 to $90. Now, the CEO did talk about this in an interview. Bowser, I forgot his first name. George Bowser? Greg Bowser? Insert white guy name here. Bowser talk about the game prices in an interview because people were mad about him. And he said the prices were going to be variable based off of development cost. And what that means is that the price of games are either going to be really expensive or really fucking expensive. Because $90 for a AAA game is ridiculous. They're amazing games. We can't deny that. They make some fucking bangers. But $90 is crazy. So people are obviously pissed about their games being expensive. Another thing people are mad about is game key cards, okay? Do we know what game key cards are, chat? Ross, have you heard of this? Unfortunately, yeah, it's fucking crazy. Okay, so look, you can purchase games physically, okay? And they'll cost a ridiculous amount of money. But now, they're just not going to put the game in the fucking game card. The game card itself, the physical cartridge, is just going to be a code that your Switch reads that allows you to download the game. Now, in full transparency, this isn't every game, okay? A lot of these big AAA Nintendo games are not going to have this function, but Nintendo is going to allow developers to have access to this feature, which is bad. It makes it so that you own less of the game, and that's scary. We want to own physically the games we have. Like we should own our media that we purchase. I tried to play a game the other day, and it told me to download the game card. I turned off my Switch, damn straight. Wait, what game is that? Out of curiosity, what game? It's like a Splatoon ripoff. Oh, Spladoof. Oh, Spelunk. Oh, Kerploosh. I love that one. Did I get it yet? Oh, Fortnite. I love that game. Okay, and the third big thing people were mad about is the C button, okay? On the right Joy-Con, there's a new button, okay? It goes right under the home button, and it's literally just a little C. It's a little square. And in the trailer, people were like, yo, what the fuck could this button do? New button? Oh my god, it's gonna be revolutionary. Are you ready for what the button actually does? It opens up the game chat menu. It's a communication button. It's for game chat. One, a feature that not many people will use. And two, a feature that requires a membership that costs a lot of money. Put the amount of money on the screen right now. Editing Lucas, put the amount of money it costs right now on the screen, right here. It is useless. It's a pointless button. So they pretty much added a button that's stuck behind a paywall. And obviously people were mad about that because nobody wants a button for something that they're not going to pay for. No thank you. I wouldn't either. Because you know what's crazy? Discord exists. I'm not saying it's a bad feature. I think children, kids, Gen Alpha is going to love game chat in Nintendo, right? They don't really have Discord. Families, I think there is good applications for the feature of game chat. I just don't think it needs a whole ass button that's going to be useless for most people not paying the monthly subscription fee, okay? One more specific piece of backlash people had. I think the funniest piece of backlash, which is there's no games coming out with the console. Correction, there's 2 launch titles with the console. If you don't know, the Nintendo Switch 2 is launching with 2 brand new games. Mario Kart World, whoa, insane game, and hold for applause. You ready? Ready? Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. If you don't know what this game is, it's a tech demo where you walk around a very large Nintendo Switch 2 as a little miniature human, and you have to play little games. And you're like, that doesn't sound too bad. You know, it's a fun little thing they include in the package. You could test out the games, see what's up. But what if I told you it didn't come with the console? What if I told you that for the demo game for the console, they made you buy it? What if I told you that? What would you think about that? Would you think that Nintendo is maybe greedy? Would you think that? Because I would think that. But they wouldn't do that, right? They wouldn't do that, right? So those are the 2 games that are out with the Switch. Nintendo posted this. They posted Nintendo Switch 2, and this is everything that's available on June 5th, the day that the Nintendo Switch dropped. And it's a big list of all the stuff that's new and available June 5th. And you might see a couple of squares blacked out here. So all these black squares are things that aren't actually new. Things like Fortnite were included here. Things like games that were already out that are slightly better on the Switch 2 are included here. And so we blacked them out just because that's not really an announcement game. That's not fair to put in this list. So you have Mario Kart Tour, the Switch 2, a different photo of the Switch 2. I don't fucking know. And then you have all the Nintendo GameCube games, right? Oh, cool. I could play the Nintendo GameCube games? Yeah, with the monthly subscription. Holy shit. We're paying monthly subscriptions for games we bought 15 years ago? And for a little comparison, I did include the PS4 launch titles, okay? PS4 launched with 24 games, exclusive for the console. Okay, you had Call of Duty Ghosts, you had Assassin's Creed, Black Flag, you had Marvel Lego, you had a bunch of the Maddens, you had a bunch of the sports games. I'm just saying, consoles have done it better in the past. And I'm saying this from someone who's a Nintendo kid. My first console was the GameCube, the Game Boy Advance, then I had a Wii, then I had a DSi. I've pretty much only had Nintendo consoles. I'm a Nintendo guy. I'm saying this from a place of sorrow because this kind of blows and we deserve better, but we're not gonna get better. One, what the hell is this video gonna do? And that's just the sad truth, okay? We can be honest with ourselves. It's a bummer, but it is what it is. I'm just telling you the facts. Now let's talk about release day, the big day. Switch 2's big drop day, okay? The Switch 2 sold 3 million units in the first 24 hours of its existence. Do you know how many units that is? Do you know how many Switch 2s that is? For comparison, the PS4 sold 4.2 million in the first month, which is more than the Switch 2. But the reason I have an asterisk next to the biggest launch day of all time is because the Switch 2 sold 3 million in the first day, and the PS4 sold 4.2 million in the first month. So we have a long time to see where the Switch goes. We're just waiting to see, which is why it could be the biggest hardware drop in gaming history. By the way, PS5 only sold 3.4 million in the first month, which is crazy. The Switch lapped that. So I guess plus ratio PS4. On this show, I like to show how big numbers are, okay? Because 3 million units in 24 hours, that's kind of hard to imagine. That's kind of hard to fathom, okay? So, last episode, I compared the amount of viewers Kyson had got on his live stream to amount of people you can hold in Wembley Stadium, the largest stadium in the UK. And so, does anyone have a guess on how many people bought the Switch? 3 million. How many Wembley stadiums that is? 100? Not quite. And the stadiums are large, man. Stadiums are pretty big. Let's not get crazy. It is 33 Wembley stadiums. 33 full stadiums of people. That's how many people did purchase the Nintendo Switch 2. And they filled up 33 Wembley stadiums. I think that's pretty crazy. And that's why, because of the sheer scope, it might be the largest gaming release of all time. It might be. We might see bigger in our lifetime. We might not. And I think that makes it pretty notable in the news this week. At least in the news of YouTube and Twitch. Because obviously a ton of creators are farming content on it. Something I wish I could do. I wish, hey, you got a Switch 2? Slide in my Switch 2 slide, please. I just want to play Mario Kart World, bro. Now that we're done talking about the Switch 2 and how big of an event it was for culture this week, we got to talk about the headlines of the week. Some other notable moments in media, YouTube, and Twitch this week. First one, Mr. Beast's $100,000 vacation. This is big. Oh, sorry, it says Mr. East. I don't know who Mr. East is. It's Mr. Beast. You know the guy. Don't pretend you don't know the guy. So Mr. Beast is offering people tours of his new set for the new season of Beast games for a $100,000 donation to Beast Philanthropy, which is his charity, and then they use all the money to donate to people in need, create hospitals, food banks, stuff like that. And so with $100,000, what do you get? If you paid $100,000 to Mr. Beast's charity, what do you get with it? You get a welcome dinner, you get VIP access to the Mr. Beast game set, you get exclusive time with the Beast team, the Beast squad. That's big. You get time, you get to go face to face with the Beast team. That's limited. And then you get hands-on philanthropy. So you and the Beast team get to go to a food bank and you get to do charity work together. The concept of doing philanthropy and also the Hunger Games. Yeah, it is crazy. It is two sides of the coin, you know what I mean? But I do think this is a net positive. There is 40 people going to this event. If you do the math, at $100,000 each, that is $4 million that Mr. Beast generated for charity, because just for peddling rich people around for a couple hours on 2 days. That's pretty good. I think that's en masse a win. Pretty cool thing he's doing. Pretty interesting thing he's doing. Interesting way to make money for charity. Next story. The downfall of Splitgate. If you don't know what Splitgate is, it is a first-person shooter game that came out a couple years ago where you use portals to traverse around the map. It's kind of new. It was very fun when it first came out. I loved it. But this year at Summer Games Fest, one of the largest platforms for developers to announce new games, new DLC coming to their games, big updates in the world of gaming, Splitgate's CEO came on the stage, okay? His name is Ian, forgot his last name, came up on stage, and he talked a little bit about the world of FPS games today. He talks a little bit about how he doesn't really like them, how they kind of stink, how Call of Duty feels stale, and then he talked about what he's doing with his own game, Splitgate, to fix that. And so he starts talking about Splitgate and about how it's transformative content, how it's going to be something new, something fresh, something that's going to take over the FPS game, something that's going to make FPS great again. And then he announced the Battle Royale. The most overdone fucking trope in gaming history at this point, dude. So everyone clowned him because the game is not that good. I tried it, not that good. Also, he wore a hat that said "Make FPS Great Again." He said it's not a political thing. Like, why? Like, there's no need for that. It was sort of just tasteless. The game's not that good. I tried it. It was fine. Overall reviews in the last couple days, it's mixed. There is, I will say, the microtransactions on this game, insane. Splitgate 2, kind of, it looks like it's gonna die. I mean, just a bad look for the company in general. Next one, Asmin Gold. Asmin Gold on Kick. Asmin Gold announces that he's gonna stream on Kick now. If you don't know who Asmin Gold is, congratulations, you win life. You made it. Enjoy it. Enjoy your life. It's gonna be a good one. Don't look up who he is. Do not. You don't need that shit in your life. You don't need it. Just enjoy your life without knowing that this guy exists. But if you do know Asmin Gold exists, I'm sorry, but hey, it is funny to make fun of him. So, Asmin Gold starts streaming on Kick. I put apple grows on a tree because, like, obviously it was gonna happen if we just, like, you know, thought about it for a couple seconds, had a little bit of comprehension. But yeah, it is a notable thing. He did switch to Kick. He also leaked how much money he made off of Kick compared to Twitch. It's actually ridiculous. I don't got the number, putting it on screen right now, but it is so much fucking money. It makes you want to vomit. And that's it. That's the last story I have. For my content recommendation of the week, if you don't know, the GOAT, Killdozer TV, I think my theory is that this is the best YouTuber to watch while eating. And if you enjoyed this episode of Last Week on the Internet, subscribe. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you next week on the Internet.